what is the difference between the Trans Am and the Firebird? Well, I picked the two most iconic cars here. This is the James Rockford Firebird, at least a similar to it. You might remember his gold, famous for Rockfords. And of course, that's one of the first things we're gonna do in the Trans Am is do a Rockford because you have to do it. And then we have Burt Reynolds' famous Bandit Trans Am. Again, not the exact car, but that's the difference. So what is the difference between a Trans Am and a Rockford, okay? Well, the first thing that is obvious is the bird on the hood. The Trans Am had a different hood on it. You can see it's got a scoop in the middle right over the bird, which is really cool. And then the Firebird just has a regular hood on it with no bird. Ours has a little bit different hood on it in that it's a pretty cool shaker hood that's designed for a bigger motor type of thing, maybe a Camaro parallel. But the first thing is the hood, and it's a big deal, all right? Then in addition to the hood, you'll notice not only that, but there's a bigger motor. In the Trans Am has a 400 horse in it, or excuse me, not 400 cubic inch. And then the ours has a 350, and that's pretty standard. On the Firebird was a 307 or 350, and you can upgrade all the way up to a 455 with some of them. And then you also have a couple other differences. You'll notice that these on the Trans Am have these doohickeys on the side that take the air into there. Again, I can tell you the name, but I can't remember it right now. But they look pretty cool. Some people really love them. The Firebird does not have that little air draft vent thing on there. And so again, another cool feature of the Trans Am over the Firebird. And then perhaps what I think is the coolest feature is you can see that the Trans Am has fender flares, both in the front, and you could also see the fender flares in the back. Which just make it look really cool. The Firebird, on the other hand, you can see does not have fender flares, just looks like a regular old car. And you can see, again, the difference here. Other than that, they look pretty similar. Other than some of the Trans Ams, you can see here, this one has T-tops. It's kind of hard to see, but that one has T-tops on it. And then the Firebirds did not come with T-tops. So that's a pretty drastic difference. Now, if we went to the interior, on the Trans Am, you can see it comes with standard a tachometer, and that is a clock in the corner, like an old, numbers clock, pretty cool. And then on the Firebird, it's hard to see here with this picture, but that's the best one I could find. It just comes with a clock. So it doesn't have a tachometer on the Firebird, but it does on the Trans Am. And then the last big difference is if you look here, you can see this has like the matted aluminum, really cool looking, almost space age for the time, dash component to it. It looks pretty epic. And here with the Firebird, you can see it's just got the old standard wood grain. Ours right now has the standard wood grain, and again, not sure what we would do with that. It's called a dash bezel is what it's called, if we would upgrade that or not. So those are the differences between Trans Am and Firebird. What would you do if you had the choice and you had a Firebird and you knew for a couple $1,000, maybe less, you could make it that? Would you do it? I had a buddy who said he would never do it because he would feel like he was a poser. Me, I look at it and say, man, I think that looks way cooler. So heck yeah, we're gonna do it. I already ordered the parts. I ordered a hood, ordered fender flares, did not order the wheels. That's another part of that I forgot to mention is the wheels. It has the snowflake wheels, came standard on the Trans Am. Ours does not have those. It has Krager aftermarket 80s wheels. And then the Firebird had these spoke wheels, which are not quite as cool. And anyway, we're gonna do a lot to it to make it look more Trans Am-y. As someone said, this might be a Trans Am replica or a Trans Am honor car or a tribute car for a Trans Am, something along those lines. And then I think that we probably will order a dash bezel too, because those are really cool looking. And We'll probably throw a tachometer on there too. So there you go, Trans Am versus Firebird. What would you do? Tell me down below. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is obviously the difference also is in the trunk. The fastback, or whatever you want to call the tail, or I guess it's called a tail, that is on there. Fin, some people call it. That's the Firebird does not have one. And then the Trans Am has one. Firebird, you could order it with it. In fact, ours has one on it. But I forgot to mention that's another feature of the Trans Am is the nice, sweet little fender back slash thing that makes you go and look cooler with aerodynamics. Mason, should we Trans Am the Firebird?
I mean oh wait, no.
What do you mean no?
What do you mean Trans Am the Firebird?
Like make it all look all fancy like a Firebird, put the fender flares on it and put
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
eagle on the hood and all that stuff.
I think it should be the flaming fire chicken though.
Should we Trans Am the car, Luke?
Sure.
Dane, should we Trans Am the Firebird?
Yes.
Why?
It looked cool.
Nice. Annabelle, do you think we should Trans Am the Firebird?
I don't know what Trans Am means.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.